Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah, brother.
Now, do you think the Canadian version of Fox Mulder is required to wear flannel?
I don't think so.
Do you not think that's an important thing?
No. I think it's just more important that he's like super into aliens.
I don't think so. When you think of Canadian Fox Mulder, what do you picture in your head?
I imagine he looks a lot like regular Fox Mulder, but maybe with a Tim Hortons in his hand. And then a hockey stick. That's it.
Just required.
At all times.
They're like,
yeah.
Fox, reach for your gun. And he's like, I can't.
My hands are full.
Oh, but he's not going to shoot me. That'd be super rude. Okay? Oh, hey. My name is Fred Stewart. Welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens. With me, as almost always, for the most part, is my lovely co-host.
It's me. It's Taylor. Hi.
What's up, dude?
What's up?
Found it. Wow, that sucks. Shit.
Immediately.
What a dork, dude.
Immediately in for the attack.
I fucking got you, dude. Don't. Okay, listen. Don't fight in front of the kids. Okay? Now, see, this is what happens. This is what daily life is with Tay. She starts stimming, and then she's like, touch. I gotta touch. See that? See that? You fucker. Ow. Get away from me. Now, this is like our fourth time recording this. We're tired. There's a lot of issues happening, but thank you for watching and listening. I love you. I'm gonna give you a big old kiss on the mouth. You like that? Are you ready? Do you think Chris Angel said that when he fucked?
No. I hope not.
Guys, be quiet in the girls' ear. I mean, while I'm out there being like, my break. Are you ready? And then he's like, look how fucking tuned I am, and kind of weirdly emo for being like 40. Anyway, I'm gonna kind of sort of levitate over the Luxor. God, you're so cool, dude.
Can we go see him in Vegas?
No.
I think he still does Vegas shows. I just want to go to just go. Be like, what the fuck?
Where did the elephant go? It's all smoke and mirrors, dude. I want to see real magic.
Like, I absolutely know it's all smoke and mirrors, but I'm also like, I just kind of want to go.
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
You want to see a real illusion?
Sure. You got one?
So no, I said.
You phrased it like you had an illusion ready.
No, I don't have an illusion ready, but I do have this ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
probably still fine.
It's fine.
I don't think alcohol expires.
Remember we bought these and then we tried one and then we're like, oh, these are kind of bad. And then,
here you are.
Whatever.
I will not touch those. I don't like them. I like my drinks fruity.
That's just as bad as I remember. All right.
I like my drinks fruity and tasting good, so I will not have those.
It tastes like how a moth looks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So housekeeping on top of the show, we're going to be doing HGO Live. I'm itching my eye as I look into the camera. Listen, this podcast, while it is kind of professional, we treat you guys like, you're our friends. We love you. So, being as natural as I can. HGO Live on our Instagram and our YouTube here in Comedy Chaos Network. So go ahead and go follow us on HGOPodcast on Instagram for the date of that when we put it up. It'll probably be pretty soon. Probably like on a Friday or something. But I had some news stories that I've already read like I said, like 4 fucking times.
Yeah.
Kind of over it. Kangaroo escaped in Czech Republic from prison. Haven't found it yet. That's about it. That's all I had.
I wonder where he went. What
Probably on a
adventures
bus.
is he on?
Huh?
What adventures is he on?
I don't know. He's probably like smoking cigarettes and drinking at Czech bars or something like that.
Maybe.
Cashing checks.
Do they let
No.
let
They don't.
kangaroos into bars?
I don't think there's necessarily a policy regarding not bringing a kangaroo into a bar.
Probably is in Australia.
I'll look into it. Okay, you got our story this week?
Yeah, I've got 2 stories. And we're going to kind of give you some background, because when you think of UFOs, do you think of Canada at all? You mostly think of the U.S.
I mainly think of the United States and South America when it comes to UFOs, especially more so South America more than as of late. When I think of Canada, I think of hockey, Tim Hortons, maple syrup, and bathtub races.
Cool. Add aliens to the list. Hear me out.
Pretty good list as already.
Yeah, but you could add aliens to that, because...
Oh, I also think of Trudeau doing his less than okay Halloween costume from college.
Forgot about that.
Not cool, Trudeau.
We know you're watching.
It's very hey babe like bit, you know. Trudeau, we know it. So fucking stupid.
We know you're watching. That wasn't cool.
Just instead of like an actual podcast substance, it's just pulling all the one-liners from every known podcast and just one episode. And that's it. It's just one episode. Just a horrible mess.
Oh my
just
God.
one-liners of shit that doesn't make any sense. Stay spooky, stay haunted.
What else?
Then Armando's, which is, want to go to the bar after this? Yeah, duh.
Obviously.
Get Armando back on here. Yeah. But no, I don't usually associate Canada with UFOs.
Well, I recommend that maybe you start Ufology Research, which is an organization that ufologist Chris Rutkowski, who I've seen described as the Canadian Fox Mulder. Again, we've talked about this. That's what inspired our opening bit. This man I was reading and they're like, you could call him the Canadian Fox Mulder. And I was like, I could. I don't know if I'm gonna, but I could. You were certainly correct on that. He belongs to Ufology Research, which has collected and analyzed Canadian UFO report data since 1989. Their 2017 survey showed a total of 1,101 sightings reported across the country at a rate of roughly 3 per day, which is the 5th highest number since the group had began collecting data in 1989. That's a good amount of shit just happening up there, where they're like, I just saw something fucky in the sky.
Oh, but I saw something up there and I'll forget about it. Yeah. Like you said, like some of the sightings were like 15 minutes.
Yeah, so the survey showed that there was an average of 2 witnesses per sighting, and the sightings lasted about 15 minutes each. Which is pretty good length of time.
It's a pretty good sighting.
To see something happening.
It's enough time. Listen, if I can sit there and smoke 2 cigarettes before a UFO leaves, it's good enough for me.
I think if you power through, you can get 5, not 5, 3. 5
I'll do
minutes.
5.
Well, now you've twisted my arm.
Just one after another.
Yeah. 2 at a time.
Like a scene like a fucking zombie in Beetlejuice waiting.
All 5 cigarettes at once.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Or you chain them together and make one really long cigarette. Or smoke one American Spirit. And that's all you need.
I mean, also to think about the fact, so there's 1,101 sightings, but how many sightings go unreported? Right? There's over 1,100 reported.
I bet it's probably doubled or tripled.
It's probably a lot of it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the same people seeing the same sightings and then being like,
do I report this again?
that's fucking weird. And then they just keep driving,
Yeah.
do whatever.
I mean,
keep them wrestling bears or whatever they do. You know, playing whack-a-mole like with beavers or some shit. I don't know. Also, I looked it up.
Maybe.
No specific laws about kangaroos going into bars, but
In Australia?
yeah, no. But there were like a lot of the comments were like, as an Australian, please don't bring kangaroos into bars. And then the next thread below it was, can I fight a kangaroo without legal repercussions? If so, where can I do it?
You cannot fight a kangaroo without legal repercussions unless it's a underground kangaroo fighting club. Ask me
First
how I
rule
know.
of Kangaroo Fight Club is just don't come. Like, just don't come here.
Ask me how I know.
Are you in illegal kangaroo fight clubs?
No.
Are you having tourists come to the United States to fight kangaroos illegally?
No. I'm certainly not. You can hit me up on Instagram at LunarThrow.
And if you need a guy for some questionable meats, hit me up at I Hunt the Haunted on Instagram. Definitely not related.
Definitely not. So many of the witnesses of these reports were police officers, pilots, and other people with keen observational skills. And about 8% of the 1,100 reports in 2017 are actually still considered unexplained. Which, we did the math, it's like 80 reports out of the 1,000 are... There's no viable explanation. It's not... You saw Venus. You saw a bird.
You saw a bunch of people playing hockey in the sky.
Exactly, yeah.
My goodness. And
She's upset. She got her foot stuck, and then I tried to pull my cord, and that was the worst thing I could ever do to her. So, are you ready to get into the story?
I'm ready to get into it. And frankly, I'm ready to hear more about Canadian Fox Mulder. As he is handsome as I think he is.
Well, I don't know. Look up Chris Rakowski.
Chris Rakowski.
So let's talk about some pre-incident aerial phenomena of this event. En route to Toronto while flying over Sherbrooke from Saint Jean, Quebec, at about 12,000 feet from Halifax International Airport, Air Canada First Officer Robert Ralph pointed out to Captain Pierre Charbonneau on Flight 305 that there was something strange out the left side of his aircraft at 7:15 p.m. In his report, the captain reported an object tracking along a parallel course a few miles away. He describes it as brilliantly lit, a rectangular object with a string of smaller lights following it. Already.
So it's like a weird bird or what? Like,
It's a pelican.
what you saw was a pelican? Yeah. What you saw was a pelican traveling 23,000 miles an hour.
Exactly. 12,000 feet. Obviously. Yeah. That's the average height that pelicans fly.
If a
People just don't
pelican
know
could
that.
travel 22,000 miles an hour right now,
Yeah.
it would just disintegrate.
That's a lot.
Like the one pelican flies up the next one, it's like, hey Taylor, I learned a cool trick, want to see?
Yeah.
And just like it just turns into nothing.
Yeah.
The shockwave blows the other bird apart. Forests get leveled. And then like the scientists come out and they're like, what happened here, aliens? And they're like, no, a pelican learned how to go 23,000 miles an hour.
Of course.
But yeah, that's fucking weird. So it's just this craft.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Just a rectangular object.
Mm-hmm.
And at 7:19 p.m., the pilots noticed a sizable, silent explosion near the object. And 2 minutes later, a second explosion occurred, which faded to a blue cloud around the object.
Oh, it's gassy. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
So that is the Flight 305 sighting.
Mm-hmm.
That leads up to the incident I'm going to tell you about. Another sighting was Daryl Dorey and his sister Annette. as well as his mother, were sitting on their front porch in Mahone Bay when they noticed a large object maneuvering above the southwestern horizon. The next day, he wrote a letter to the RCAF Greenwood Base commander asking what was flying over the water that evening, as he had never seen anything like it. He didn't really get any answers. He was like, "Commander, what the fuck was that?"
I also looked it up. He does not look like Fox Mulder at all. It doesn't look anything like him. He's just he owns a fedora.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Has glasses.
Yeah.
That's about it. Has a fur coat.
That checks out.
So the answer is no. Doesn't look like anything like Fox Mulder.
You know,
I don't even want to hear the rest of the story now.
Oh my god. So, another sighting. While standing at the wheelhouse of his vessel, Captain Leo Howard Mercy was looking at 4 blips on his decorator that were stationary. When he looked up, about 17 miles from the vessel's windows, he could see 4 bright objects situated roughly in a rectangular form. The entire crew of nearly 20 fishermen stood on the deck and watched the object in the northeastern sky. Mercy radioed the Rescue Coordination Center and the harbor master in Halifax, asking for an explanation. He also filed a report with Lunenburg RCMP, outlining his sighting when they returned to port. So he also saw a rectangle. Also didn't really get any answers. And then the Chronicle Herald and local radio stations reported a glowing object that had been seen by many people who called into the newsroom. They reported witnessing strange glowing objects flying around Halifax at around 10 p.m. So there's quite a few sightings.
There's some weird stuff happening, yeah.
This night, there's quite a few people seeing things.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. Seeing things.
So
none of what you saw was real.
We are talking about the incident at Shag Harbor.
Nice. I think I saw that on VHS.
I don't think you did.
I think you sold that VHS to me.
Yeah, I did actually. Was it good?
No.
Yeah, that's about what I expected.
Incident at Shag Harbor, huh?
Yes.
Shag Harbor incident?
Mm-hmm.
You know what the fuck I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's get into it.
So
tired.
On the night of October 4th, 1967, at about 11:20 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Time, it was reported that something had crashed into the waters of Shag Harbor. At least 11 people saw a low-flying lit object head towards the harbor. Multiple people witnessed hearing a whistling sound like a bomb, and then a whoosh, and finally a loud bang. The object was never officially identified. And in official Canadian government documents, it is referred to as a UFO. The Canadian military had become involved with rescue and recovery efforts, and the initial report was made by local resident Laurie Wickens and 4 of his friends who'd been driving through Shag Harbor on Highway 3 when they spotted a large object descending into the waters off the harbor. Attaining a better vantage point, Wickens and his friends saw the object floating about 250 to 300 meters offshore in the water. Wickens contacted RCMP in Barrington Passage and reported he'd seen a large airplane or small airliner crash into the waters of Shag Harbor. So, this starts our story. So, assuming an aircraft had crashed within about 15 minutes, 2 RCMP officers arrived at the scene. Concerned for survivors, RCMP detachment contacted the Rescue Coordination Center in Halifax to advise them of the situation and ask if any aircraft were missing. Before any attempt at rescue could be made, the flying object, with lights still showing, started to sink and disappeared from view. The face you just made.
Yeah, I'm
like, excuse me?
Because what I normally do when you do this episode,
Yes,
is while you tell a story and I'm listening, I get to work on all the other back end stuff that we have to do for the podcast,
Yeah.
the thumbnails and things like that. And then I was like, UFO, and I'm looking at photos of Shag Harbor, and I'm like looking at photos of the crash site, and I'm like, and then you're like, then it began to sink into the water, and I'm like, huh? How the fuck out? So it just was like, lands, and everybody's like, what is that? And it's just like, peace. And
yeah. So it crashes. They're like, it's like 250 to 300 meters out, and they're looking at it, and it just starts to sink.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. I mean, to crash landed for him. I'm so embarrassed. And then
So the ship starts sinking, and a rescue mission was quickly assembled because at this point they think an airplane has crashed and that they need to start rescue efforts for anyone who may have survived said crash. So within half an hour of the crash, local fishing boats went out to the crash site into the waters of the Gulf of Maine off Shag Harbor to look for survivors. No survivors, no bodies, and no debris were taken, either by fishermen or the Canadian Coast Guard Search and Rescue Center, which had arrived about an hour later from nearby Clark's Harbor. There's no fucking sign that anything was in the water. So, by the next morning, RCC Halifax had determined no aircraft were missing at all. While still tasked with the search, the captain of the Canadian Coast Guard cutter received a radio message from RCC Halifax that all commercial, private, and military aircraft were all accounted for along the eastern seaboard, both in the Atlantic provinces and New England. So, all of the east coast of the U.S. accounted for. And all of Canada accounted for. There's nothing that should be over there. There's nothing missing. But there's something in the water.
There's something in the water.
How does that make you feel?
I don't like it. It's spooky.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking weird.
So if nothing's missing, what is it?
That's the $1 million question, baby.
Or like, well, I guess no, million loony question. Fucking cartoon money. Firing hot on Canada today. Just got done playing video games with my buddy from Vancouver Island for the last 2 hours. So he's been calling me a filthy American and I've been making fun of his country for the last 2 hours. So
yeah,
it's been as friends do.
Yeah.
It's much
Do you know anything about this story at all, or is this all
other than it has a hilarious name? No.
I wasn't sure because you know a lot of alien stuff, so I was like, is this like?
I know a few alien things.
Is this? I was wanting to make sure this is like a completely new story to you.
I never heard of it.
Cool. Well, hopefully our next one is the same way.
Yeah,
So the same morning, RCC Halifax also sent a priority telex to the air desk at Air Force headquarters in Ottawa, which handled all civilian and military UFO sightings, informing them of the crash and that all conventional explanations, such as aircraft, flares, etc., had been dismissed. Therefore, this is labeled as a UFO report in Government of Canada documents. The head of the air desk then sent another priority telex to the Navy headquarters concerning the UFO report and recommended an underwater search be mounted. The Navy, in turn, sent another priority telex tasking Fleet Diving Unit Atlantic with carrying out said search. 2 days after the incident had been observed, a detachment of Navy divers from Fleet Diving Unit Atlantic were assembled, and for the next 3 days, they combed the seafloor of the Gulf of Maine off Shag Harbor looking for an object.
That must have been a big comb.
I don't think that's what they mean.
Oh. Oh, maybe.
I don't think so. I think it's just...
Drop the comically large cone, please. Just destroying fucking ocean life. Well, we killed about 15,000 fish and completely destroyed the ecosystem, but
we did it.
We didn't find no aliens.
Yeah, so the final report said there was no trace of an object found. So they sent down a team of divers, and for 3 days they went and looked. And they sent the divers down 2 days after the incident. If something had crashed, it should be there. It's not gonna be covered by sand or anything. It should just be right there. It's not.
Well, as someone who regularly have you seen the fantastic YouTube series Adventures with Purpose?
Yeah.
Seen that? Where they go recover people
that
are deceased inside their vehicles after been missing for months, and they talk about how, especially in like land vehicles, there's air pockets that are trapped in the tires, there's air that's trapped inside the vehicle, so the vehicles will float.
Yeah.
But with this, if it looks like an aircraft, it should just fucking and just go and sink. It's gonna be so damn heavy.
Well, and they watched it sink.
Yeah, but where did it go?
They watch an object sink. They send divers down. There's nothing. There's no sign of anything. There should be some sort of debris in the water. There's not.
2 divers go down. Both divers come up, but one is obviously the ship and the divers, like with the diver's uniform, like on top, like tape. I didn't see anything either. Anyways, I'm out of here. Takes off. And they're like, huh, always knew he could fly.
So, the Shag Harbor incident actually had new life breathed into it through the efforts of MUFON investigator Chris Stiles. The case intrigued him so much that he decided to go search for more details. Stiles found the names of many of the original witnesses through newspaper clippings and was able to actually interview many of them. Stiles was assisted by MUFON investigator Doug Ledger, and these two men uncovered some extremely compelling evidence through their interviews. They discovered that when the divers of Granby finished their work, the case was not over. These divers, along with other witnesses related to the events, the object that dove into the waters of the harbor had soon left the Shag area. People seem to think that it traveled underwater for about 25 miles to a place called Government Point, which was near a submarine detection base. The object was spotted on sonar there.
So it was moving.
So, UFO crashes into the harbor, travels 25 miles to Government Point where they see it on sonar.
So UFO to USO.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is not the first time that I have heard of a UFO, UAP becoming a submersible.
Yeah.
And traveling underwater.
Just like the way you're like becoming a submersible, like you're trying to not trying to offend a UFO.
I don't know what to call it.
Like a boat, but wrong. Yeah. Yeah.
So while this object was spotted on sonar, the naval vessels were actually positioned over it. And after a couple days, the military was planning a salvage operation when a second UFO joined the first one. How does that make you feel?
Somebody's in trouble.
They crashed the first one, so they were like,
Mom and Dad are gonna be so fucking pissed.
Come out here and save your ass. Like,
Mom and Dad are gonna be so pissed when they find out we're on Earth and we're not supposed to be on Earth right now and they know it. Just tell them we crash landed. Throw all the space beers out the window. They just open it, but they're underwater. So it's like
Shoots it back.
shuts the window again.
So the common belief at the time was that the second craft had arrived to render aid to the first, which is, I think, a very valid belief to have. At this time, the Navy decided to wait and watch. After about a week of monitoring the two UFOs, some of the vessels were called to investigate a Russian submarine that had entered Canadian waters. At this point, two underwater craft made their move. They made their way to the Gulf of Maine and putting distance between themselves and the chasing Navy boats. The UFOs broke the surface and shot back into the skies.
No fair, first of all. That's not fair.
They were like, you gotta go check out this Russian sub. We're just gonna dip. While you're doing that.
They just
They seem a little busy.
Yeah, it's so rude, dude. They're just like fuck, we're gonna be in so much trouble when they catch us. They'll probably kill us, and they'll be like, you guys fucking hate subs, right? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, you should look at these guys instead.
Yeah.
Anyways, check this shit out and just go fucking vertical into space immediately.
Gone. Yeah.
That's wild. It's insane.
So these events were corroborated by many witnesses, both civilian and military. However, the reports were given off the record, so they can't say who gave them, can't use it. Ex-military personnel feared the loss of their pensions, and civilian witnesses feared ridicule and their privacy being invaded. The unusual events of Shag Harbor commanded an important place in the study of UFOs, because there's little doubt that something fucky was going on October 4th of 1967.
Wow, you should absolutely be in politics and in press briefings. Be like, excuse me, Madam Secretary, can you tell us what exactly happened in Shag Harbor with the craft?
Something fucky.
Something fucky.
You can quote me on that.
Okay, something fucky. Front page Canadian News. Something fucky in Shag Harbor. I knew it. Knew it all along.
That's not what you're thinking. So that's Shag Harbor. That is our first story. What do you think about it?
Well,
what is your opinion?
My opinion is that it was a genuine craft. I don't think it was necessarily Earth-based. In the sense of like our technology, they're going much technology, whatever. The Russian sub coming up, people would be like, oh, maybe say like some sort of collusion, maybe say it's a Russian craft, things like that. But Russia's always doing that shit. They're always coming up, hanging out, checking in on shit.
Like, hey, beach.
Yeah, it's like how they fly their planes next to Alaska all the time, shit like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's related to humans at all. I think it's genuine.
Yeah.
Craft from another world.
It's a pretty weird story.
It's really weird.
And I'm surprised we've never covered it.
Yeah.
Of just UFO being fucky out there, and then a second UFO coming in rescuing the first.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Like, that's
called like AAA of space.
They're like
a gray gets out and he's got a beer belly.
They're calling.
His like spacesuit's like a little bit like too small, so his guts hanging out. He's like got cigarettes in his mouth, and you're like, so you need a tow or whatever? All right, hook this up to your gravitational device.
They call. They're on hold. They get through and they're like, so listen.
We're in the bottom of Shag Harbor.
We're on Earth. I don't know what happened, but now we're at the bottom of Shag Harbor.
Definitely didn't involve space beers and hitting a flock of birds.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. I don't know what happened, and I need a tow so badly. And they're like, okay, well, can you get somewhere safe? Right? Are you safe?
Can you maybe just sink to the bottom of Shag Harbor and go 20 miles?
Listen, we're at the bottom of Shag Harbor. Okay, well, can you get somewhere safe? And we'll send someone out. Might take a couple days, But we'll get someone out. We'll get you
And whatever you
squared
do,
away.
don't get anywhere near a site that detects submarines. Got it. There's definitely not a single one out here.
We're gonna go take it to how about Government Point? I think that sounds good. Right? That seems not a bad idea. If you want to send your guy down there, we'll see him then.
And that's basically, yeah. I imagine that's how it happened. Actually, I'm pretty sure that is how it happened. It was as boring as that. And it was just them being like, yeah, just on the phone and whatever. No, in reality, they were probably like, fuck. And they're like, just full, like, fast as they could underwater, hitting seals and shit. And like, just, we were able to track the UFO underwater by the trail of blood. They killed seals and orcas and whatever got in the way.
There were a lot of hit and runs.
Yeah.
So.
Took out one kayak. It was horrible. It's kind of funny, but it's
a pretty wild story.
It's
though.
wild. It's pretty cool.
It's very unique.
It's very unique.
I don't think I've ever really heard of a story like that.
No, I definitely haven't.
Where it's... I mean, I've heard of UAPs becoming submersibles, but leaving? I mean, where people see, like, all of these events happen, I'm like... I don't think they meant to go so close to the sonar.
No, I don't believe so either.
They just fucked up.
Yeah, well, I mean...
They fucked up by crashing, and then they were like, well, I guess we wait for a tow and hope for the best. So, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, why they crashed, I don't know. There's a whole theories about, like, UFOs crashing due to, like, Earth's magnetic force and, like, the EMF that Earth emits and things like that.
Honestly, I think they just...
They're space drunk? Yeah.
Yeah. I think
you think they miracle on the Hudson themselves? they're coming to check out Canada and they hit a flock of geese. It's like, fuck.
Well, because, like, okay, so in a lot of the reports, there is an explosion.
Yeah.
Right? Why did they explode? But then also, we're still functional to go 25 miles per hour.
I just figured out why.
Or 25 miles.
I know why.
What?
They were cooking meth in the back of that motherfucker. That's why.
Space meth.
No.
Just
regular
meth?
Yep.
Is space meth less
Doesn't
floaty?
exist. No, just regular meth.
Oh, okay.
All the reptilians are hooked on it.
The Nordics are like, guys,
just take mushrooms and smoke some weed.
You gotta relax.
You gotta
on the math.
Yeah. Fuck you don't tell me what to do. It's like,
okay.
All right, dude. I've had enough of you.
You're not being super chill right now. You want to go take a break? They're like gentle parenting these aliens on meth.
The Nordics being like, sure, great. Go and do whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go kidnap this guy and tell him that he's going to save the planet. He's not. But we'll tell him.
I think if we go tell him Earth's ending, I think he might lose it, but I kind of want to see what happens anyway.
That's so real, too. As for our next story, is that the title of it? Because I think I've heard this story.
Falcon Lake.
Yeah.
Yes. Falcon Lake is our next story.
It's also in Canada?
Also in Canada. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a big Canadian story.
I was going to make a bit, but no, never mind.
Yes. So we are going to talk about Falcon Lake, which is regarded as one of the most well-documented UFO cases in Canada. There's a lot of evidence that supports it. Do you know about this story, or do you just kind of like vaguely know about it?
I vaguely know about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that I am able to let you know more about it. Stefan Michalak was an industrial mechanic by trade and an amateur geologist who liked to venture into the wilderness around Falcon Lake, which is about 150 kilometers east of Winnipeg, where he would search for quartz and silver. He had staked some claims the prior year and set out on the long weekend in May in 1967 to explore some more. So this is Sorry.
That was genuinely awful in my
I know.
ears.
I'm so sorry. I tried to not, and it came out anyways.
Professional podcaster.
Yeah. I'm also dying of allergies right now because our pollen is like it's super high right now, and I hate it. So this is in the same span of time. It's not very far from Shag Harbor incident. So I feel like they had their own summer of saucers up there because like it's all like.
And I bet it was delicious.
I don't think so.
Saucers of what?
Aliens.
Oh. Something is like pie or something.
Nah. It was not pie.
Okay.
So on May 20th of 1967, Stefan was near a vein of quartz along the Precambrian Shield in the area when the 51-year-old was startled by a gaggle of nearby geese that erupted into a clattering of honks.
That might be the funniest sentence we've ever said on HGO.
He got startled by a gaggle of geese.
It was startled by a gaggle of geese that erupted into a clattering of honks.
They got spooked. The geese got spooked, so he got spooked.
It's just the funniest fucking...
It's a pretty Canadian sentence.
Can you say it in a Canadian accent?
No. You can, though.
Startled by a gaggle of nearby geese that erupted into a clattering of honks.
I can't really do accents, so I struggle. So according to his accounts, as reported in newspapers at the time and since repeated in books, magazines, and on TV shows, like Unsolved Mysteries, Stefan looked up and saw two cigar-shaped objects with a reddish glow hovering about 45 meters away. One descended, and according to Stefan's account, landed on a flat section of rock and taking on more of a disc shape. So it shapeshifted from a cigar-shaped craft to more of a disc. I've not heard of crafts doing that, but apparently this one did. Believing it to be a secret U.S. military experimental craft, Stefan sat back and sketched it for over the next half hour. Then he decided he was gonna go approach it, like any curious person would do. He's like, I see this thing. I think it's a secret U.S. operation. I'm gonna go over there. The U.S. is known for being so friendly.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, the U.S. known for being so friendly?
Yeah.
I mean, Canada is being known for so friendly?
No, he thinks it's a U.S. military operation in Canada.
That's even more hilarious.
Is what he thinks. So
Those Americans are always so nice, especially when you get next to the stuff that's supposed to be classified, and no one knows that I'm out here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, some dude just in the bushes with a 330 LePou just fucking watching him, just... He clearly had a heart attack after I put a golf ball sized hole in his chest.
I was the heart attack. So he believes it's a secret U.S. military experimental craft up in Canada being tested. Because, I mean, he's in kind of a, like, not super populated area. So I guess I could see why he would think that. But also, why wouldn't you think we wouldn't just do that on our own soil? You know? But that's what he thought. So he decided to approach and later recalled the warm air and smell of sulfur as he got closer, as well as the whirring sound of motors and hissing of air. So he also noted a door open on the side with bright lights inside, and he said he heard voices muffled by the sounds of the craft. He said he called out, offering mechanical help to the Yankee boys, as he quotes it, asking if they needed any help. The voices went quiet, but did not answer. So Stefan tried in his native Polish, then in Russian, and finally in German. He decided, English didn't work? Let me try 3 other languages and hope one of them works.
Have we heard this story recently?
Maybe on one of our shows.
I think so, because it sounds really familiar. So I remember that part specifically.
Where he's like, hey, you want help? I don't know how you say that in German. Do you know?
Do you want the help?
You're the one that speaks German, so.
Yeah, fucking barely.
I think I might speak more Italian than you speak German.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. After all these fucking brain injuries, yeah, I can't do that. Barely speak English anymore.
I got an achievement. I learned 250 words in Duolingo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you say something in Italian for us?
Yeah.
Good.
Io sono Taylor. That means my name is Taylor.
That's fine.
Or I'm Taylor.
Are you, though?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is any of this even real? Is the experiencing you're having a real phenomena? Or are you having an episode of psychosis where none of this is real? None of what's happening right now is real. You need to wake up. It's time for you to wake up.
No.
Anyway, let's get back to the podcast.
I like that I leaned in and was just like, yep. Time for the daily crazy.
First of all, I'm not crazy. I'll have you know. Okay?
I don't believe you.
I know what I saw. All right.
So,
In case you're wondering what it's like to live with me on a daily basis, it's basically this. It's her saying insane things to me, and then me acting like a complete fucking idiot.
saying even more insane shit.
Well, the shit you say, you mean it because you're genuine. Because you're like, which one's my left hand and my right hand? Which is insane. Which is a real thing you did.
I know.
And then my is the bit of me being like, there's bugs in my skin and they're going to turn me into a giant bug.
Yeah.
But that's a bit. Yours is real.
Listen, I'm just a little stupid. It's fine. Okay, so Stefan calls out, offers help to the men he believes to be Yankees, tries in 4 languages, and only the whir and hiss of the craft responded. He claims he went closer and noted the smooth metal of the ship with no seams, and then he looked into the bright doorway and pulled on the welding goggles that he used to protect his eyes while chipping at rocks while prospecting. Honestly, pretty wild that he just has welding goggles for this bright light.
Well,
like it times out perfectly where he's like, I use this to protect my face from rocks when I'm chipping them.
Listen.
But also, what's in this motherfucking ship?
Okay. Kind of weird. You would think like maybe like goggles or something, yeah. But a whole welding hood is insane to be going out there.
Well,
how hard are you hitting rocks?
It says welding goggles, so I think it's like the 2 circles, so you bring down.
Just like.
Yeah. But he's
Yes.
He's got his eye protection. It's important.
That is important.
Especially when you're chipping
Wear your
around.
proper PPE when going out there and looking at alien PPs.
You know, when you go prospecting for rocks, make sure you have proper eyewear just in case
Someone else doesn't, and just in case someone in the parking lot doesn't call you a dork. Then that way, if you get out there and they see you with those goggles, they can call you a dork to your face. Makes more sense.
But then also, just in case there's like a secret U.S. military operation
Allegedly.
or a UFO,
Allegedly.
You can just pop those bitches on.
Okay, so you see a really bright bird. I don't know.
What you saw was a bird.
What you saw was a bird. The brightness of the sun.
Inside, Stefan said he saw light beams and panels of various colored flashing lights, but did not see anyone or any living thing. When he stepped away, 3 panels slid across the door opening and sealed it. He reached to touch the craft, which he said melted the fingertips of the glove he was wearing. He's a hot bitch.
That's a hot bitch.
The craft then began to turn counterclockwise, and Stefan says he noticed a panel that contained a grid of holes. Shortly afterward, he was struck in the chest by a blast of air or gas that pushed him backwards and set his shirt and hat ablaze. He was standing at the exhaust pipe of an alien ship and got fucking sent. Which, actually, there is a photo out there of his shirt with the grid marks in it.
Yes. I also know where I've heard this story from, and I'll tell you later.
Okay. So he ripped away the garments, and the craft lifted off and flew away. Disoriented and nauseous, Stefan stumbled through the forest and vomited. He eventually made his way back to his motel room in Falcon Lake and then caught a bus back to Winnipeg. He was treated at a hospital for burns to his chest and stomach that later turned into raised sores on a grid-like pattern, and for weeks afterwards, he suffered from diarrhea, headaches, blackouts, and weight loss. Does this sound familiar?
Ozempic.
No.
Okay, what's the one that Hollywood was doing?
That is, it's Ozempic.
Ozempic. I'm doubling down.
GLP-1s.
You're just saying things to me. What?
Ozempic is part of a classification of drugs called GLP-1 or semaglutide. Are you looking for who asked? Yeah, I knew it. Weird. So.
I was looking for who asked.
Anyways.
Yeah.
His symptoms sound a lot like radiation.
It does sound a lot like radiation poisoning.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It's because it is radiation poisoning.
So there's a lot. A lot of this story came from an interview with his son, who wrote a book with Canada's Fox Mulder as his co-writer. And it is crazy. Squirrely pop and a half. What are you doing? She's rolling. Oh, God. Do you see the disaster that is our dog under this table? She's like wrapped up in her leash and my cord. We're doing great. So.
Completely asleep.
Once the story was out, the RCMP, the Air Force, the media, and various government agencies and hordes of gawking members of the public descended on the Michalak's Small River Heights bungalow in Winnipeg. And until the day Stefan died, he never changed his story, but he did believe that he never should have said anything. But at the time, he felt it was a duty. He'd wanted others, if they were to see the same thing, to avoid it and not get hurt. In Poland, before Stefan moved his family to Canada, he was a military policeman with a set of moral guidelines that he lived by. That is, if something happened, it should be reported. In addition to the constant probing from authorities, the family endured condemnation and criticism in the public. Stefan's sanity was questioned, and Michalak was bullied in school, which was his son. Though he wished he never said anything, Stefan never backed away from the story either. He never claimed to have seen aliens, and he honestly still considered it a secret military craft.
Yeah. Now, I know you explained briefly about how he got these weird burns and stuff like that. Did you cover the part of like how that actually happened?
We're gonna talk. Well,
okay.
So he was standing by the grid like
yes,
and it
but
shot air out at him, hot air.
Not quite. So that's not entirely correct. What it was a beam of light that came out.
Oh.
That's why I was like trying to remember. It's like, did you say air or say light?
Everything that I saw said gas or air, but granted Stefan is dead.
Yes.
He's no longer with us, so like
big spaceship in the sky. Yes.
Stories are I think gonna kind of like vary a little bit because
the story that I know from knowing this story already was that when he approached the craft, he had the welding mask or the goggles on, and he's like, man, that's really bright. And there was this, best to describe it as an exhaust port on the back. Yeah. And instead of gas coming out, it was a beam of light that shot out from it.
Oh.
It was like in this rectangular shape. Just and then it hits him in the fucking chest and he catches on fire.
Yeah, his shirt, his hat, everything caught on fire.
He just instantly caught on fire.
Which
is pretty cool, but not cool when you're on fire.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, it's not cool to be on fire.
Yeah, so I mean, Stefan really just considered it a secret military craft. He never said it was aliens. And if you asked him what he saw, he would describe it in intimate detail, but he would never say, oh, it was definitely extraterrestrials, because there was no evidence to prove it. So his dad was very, like, fact of the matter. Like, this is what I saw, but I'm not going to say anything. Like, it's one particular thing, because I don't know. He would sometimes ask, like, what do you think I saw? But right up until he died, he never changed his story, nothing about it or how he told it. There's nothing that has really ever flawed his story either. The case was actually very heavily investigated by a number of levels of government, and the official conclusion, even from the United States Air Force, is that the case is unexplained. Items were later retrieved from the encounter site, including Stefan's glove, the shirt, some tools, all of which were subjected to extensive analysis at this RCMP crime lab, and no one could determine the cause of the burns. At the landing site was a circle about 15 feet in diameter, devoid of moss and vegetation, growing in the same other areas of the same rock outcropping. Soil samples, along with samples of clothing, were tested and deemed to be highly radioactive.
I'm shocked. You mean to tell me that weird object that was glowing and kind of teleported and flew away and did all that bullshit and shot a beam of light that lit a man on fire was radioactive?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, okay, so the whole thing, though, is like with these like UFO stories is they'll take soil samples or whatever and they're like, it's just regular soil.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like in this story, they're like, that shit is radioactive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to say the U.S. is covering stuff up. Never said that.
They are.
Never said it.
They are.
I didn't say it.
I said it.
FBI agent, don't come for me.
Frederick Steer from Portland, Oregon. I would say I would give you my address, but you already have it. You have a long history of covering things up. We know it to be the truth.
So, I'm not going to say that they are.
They are.
But it makes you wonder if, like, so in these stories where they come take soil samples and they fucking do their investigation, do you think that maybe it is
Not
radioactive?
Often. Okay. Do I think it is radioactive and then they lie about it?
And they're not saying that it is.
I mean, probably. They don't have to tell us the truth.
Your FBI agent's like, God damn it, dude.
They're like, these people are about as smart as birds. And I'm like, we're going to think we're going to tell the American people, let alone the Canadian people, that shit's happening? It's like, Americans are dumb. Canadians are also dumb. We're all fucking dumb. And they're keeping us under a blanket. And sooner or later, the curtain's going to fall, and then the fucking reptilian's going to come, and they're going to take our bones, and they're going to turn you into a reptilian. What are you going to do then? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
So on top of the fact that they took soil samples and other samples of the clothing that were deemed radioactive, they also found pieces of metal in the cracks in the rock about a year after the incident. The metal had been superheated into the cracks. I mean, I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I don't think Stefan was out there like superheating metal and pouring it in, you know? I don't think he caused it.
I don't want to rule it out.
They chipped out pieces of the metal that had been just embedded into the fucking rock. Many of the items have long since been lost as they were transferred through various authorities and agencies because of course they fucking lost it. However, Rutkowski, our good old Canadian Fox Mulder, and Michalak, his son, still have one of the pieces of metal which remains radioactive to this day. Piece of metal they got out of the rock back in 1968 is still radioactive. Has not lost its fucking factor of wanting to kill people.
That's just a coincidence. What I would say if I was a Fed for the government, which I'm not, allegedly. Yeah, I don't know. It is strange that it is still radioactive.
And so a lot of some people, specifically Canada's UFO guy, is quoted as saying that the Falcon Lake incident is possibly Canada's best documented UFO case, and he says it even beats Roswell because the United States still doesn't recognize that anything out of the ordinary in Roswell happened, but in Canadian documents about Falcon Lake, they admit something happened. Some sort of event happened. But of course, they just don't know what. I know what. But it's pretty fucking wild, right? Like,
It is certainly strange, but it is very funny.
There's a lot of high strangeness.
There's a lot of high strangeness happening.
Yeah.
It is very funny though. The government was like, yeah, something happened anyway. So Roswell, and they're like, no, go back, and they're like, we're done with it. So anyway, the next thing that happens.
Well, because I mean, it is true. The United States does not recognize that anything happened at Roswell, other than a weather balloon. Just not a fucking weather balloon. But so it is very unique that even the Canadian government's like, something fucky happened here. What it was, I don't know. But it was something fucky. You know? It's pretty weird. It's really weird.
Thanks, Canadian government.
So also in regards to Stefan, he suffered with the sickness that he had even a year later, with recurrences of the burns showing back up on his chest and suffering the blackouts. So he went to the Mayo Clinic, and doctors did a thorough investigation, even sent him to a psychiatrist, who came back with the report that this is a fellow who's very pragmatic, very down to earth, pardon the pun, and does not make up stories. So we got a man with radiation poisoning who goes through all this testing, and they're like, yeah, no, he's a very sound man. He's not crazy.
Crazy? I was crazy once. Locked me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room from the rats. And rats make me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once. Locked me in a room. A rubber room with the rats. And rats make me crazy. Crazy! But it reminds me back of when was it Project Blue Book, when they're like, and now for the man that is deemed trustworthy was, whatever. And they start talking about that. Of like,
yeah. Well, this was a very blue-collar man. Like,
yeah.
Listen,
he's going out there and he was looking for rocks.
He's not doing like anything crazy.
He wasn't going out there and like snorting LSD into his fucking eyelids or something. He was like
that right there. That's the most trustworthy man.
Well, you see, he was high on hallucinogenics when he saw the UFO. But witnesses say that he was simply standing in the parking lot lighting his shirt on fire. And who's to say?
I think it was a UFO.
I think it was too.
Both of those stories are very unique.
Very unique.
So with Falcon Lake, there's no actual alien sighting.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A craft.
Other than a strange craft, which he believed.
Well, same thing with the Shag Lake one. There's no real alien sighting. It's just crafts.
Yeah, it's just a craft sighting.
It's all crafts.
But like, clearly there was something manning the crafts. Now what was it? It was.
Is there?
Maybe not. Maybe that's their version of a drone.
When AIs aren't busy making shitty Facebook memes, they're out there and crashing
Today
into lakes.
Today is my birthday. Can I get one like?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I see those all the time in the comments. Amen.
God
Amen.
bless.
Happy birthday.
God bless.
They're so fucking stupid.
Fucking hate it.
Oh, it's time. She says, I know what time it is. Oh, baby, you are. Hold on. Okay.
Come here.
You got it.
Get up here.
That was the most pathetic jump I have ever seen her do.
Hi.
What do you think it was, Spirit? You think it was aliens? Yeah. Me too.
I think it was too.
I definitely think it was aliens. I mean, I don't think Spirit knows what she's saying though, because she was asleep for the entire fucking podcast up until about 2 seconds ago.
What do you think, Spirit? Look at the camera. Camera's up front.
Hey.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think? Tired.
She think Evie. She's gonna make her rounds. Hi, what do you think?
Well, that was fun, Tay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You good? Did you fall?
That was the most dramatic thing I've ever seen.
She fell over and then freaked out because she fell over.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Oh, honey bun. You honey bear.
Well, Tay, thank you. That was very fun.
Yeah.
Interesting episode. Very heck yeah, bud.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very interesting. Very unique stories that I'm surprised we've never talked about.
Never talked about them. It was very cool.
They're good. They're good little stories.
They are good little stories. And if you enjoy, be sure to rate and listening to that. Rate 5 stars. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube. You know, the bullshit. You fucking know. HGO Live coming this week. We'll probably do what we did kind of last time, which was quite a while ago. We did HGO Live, and we just kind of showcased. It's probably going to be better for you to interact on the YouTubes, because we'll be able to kind of live stream on there if that's how it ends up working out. But we'll let you know deets. But we'll have a specific time and everything for everyone to come and hang out with us. And we'll probably talk ghosts. We'll probably talk aliens, talk cryptids, everything like that. Get into... I'll probably be kind of drunk, and then I'll just start ranting about secret government projects.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's just a normal Friday night.
Yeah. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. I at the Haunted, and Twitch. Oh god, it's black screen. Follow the podcast, HGOPodcast, on Instagram, TikTok, and send us hate mail or stories or whatever you like.
Yeah.
On HGOPodcast.
Just talk to
podcast
us.
at
I need
gmail.com. Taylor needs friends. I'm good. I'm just kidding. I did have. It is very funny because I play online in a pretty big community of people, And it is very funny when I'll be playing a game and then
Yeah.
somebody I've never met will come up to me in game and be like, hey, I just listened to your podcast. I'm like, I'm on episode like 10 right now. I'm like, it's fucking weird, man. That's cool. That's what's up. Anyway, blast you. Oh my God. Pass it off to Tay.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lunar Thrill. That's all I got. You can also follow Spirit here at Spirit the Turf on Instagram. Otherwise, that's it. That's all I got going on is TikTok and Instagram. So, yeah.
Great. Oh my God. Well, remember to stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And I know what I saw. I know. No, quit licking me. Go to the mic. Go to the mic and pretend. Go to the mic and pretend.
Hey.
I know what I saw. I know. Do you know what you saw? Okay. All right, that's up my nose.
She's just so lovey.